about the Christian, partying, clubbing, and drinking. Here to help me are my friends,
Kisa,
Demase, Sivo,
and Ringo.
Now we all know that parties these days are not what they used to be. You know, parties before used to be all about water slides, eating competitions, and that sort of thing. But these days it's all about booze and sex and a lot more. And as teens, I know that we love to party hard. Now, personally, I've never been a party person, but I do see these things happening around. Sometimes I show my face at places and then I leave because of what's there. But before we get into any of that, can someone give us a definition of partying? What is partying or clubbing?
I'll start with the word party.
Okay.
Party is an occasion on which people meet to celebrate or to enjoy.
Okay.
So partying is actively enjoying yourself at a party.
Okay. And clubbing, is there any difference between partying and clubbing, or is it sort of one and the same thing? What do you guys think?
I feel like there is a difference because partying, I can't say I'm a party person, but I love being around good company and good food and good music. But clubbing, you go specifically for drinking or good music. Like it's pretty different. It's kind of hard to distinguish it, but there is a line.
There is a line, yes. And Ray, I think you had a definition of a club in itself, yeah?
Yes. A club in itself is a spot open late at night where people enjoy, and the club does provide entertainment.
Okay.
That is a club in itself.
Yeah. And we're also talking about the drinking aspect. We're not talking about just drinking anything, but particularly wine or alcohol, things which we know are not permissible, things that we shouldn't be taking as Christians. Some people would blame the system, that it's just a faulty system in the country or whatever it is, that they allow underaged people to drink or to walk into clubs. Do you think it's the system's fault or anybody else's?
As of Malawi is how I know it. You go to a 2-year-old party, you have fun in the afternoon. Once it gets dark, it's like not even the kids' party anymore. It turns into something different. I think all of us can agree. But like, if we know that this is what we came here for, if you know the purpose of what you are celebrating for, there won't need to have all these rules and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I think.
And Siva, what do you think?
I can't really say it's the system. I can't say I'm really sure what the problem is, but let me look at us as teens, right? We have certain parents that are, I could say, carefree, right? That they don't really pay attention to what their kids are doing. So, let's say, for example, my parents are not paying attention to me, and I've got friends like Wakisa. Not like he's like, but Wakisa and Tomasa, these guys are like clubbing people, right? And of course, I'm underage. They can get me like a phony ID. And we'll go to the club, we'll have fun. My parents are carefree, they really won't mind because they don't really know what. I'll be like, okay, my parents are not paying attention to me, so I might as well do it.
Yeah. And Ray, what do you think?
I agree with you. I can't pin it on the system.
Okay.
Because it's a collective act, if I may say. Because clubbing in itself is I could say, as a result of me trying to find joy, right? In the wrong place. So I can't say the system is to blame for me going to the party and enjoying myself. It could be my friends, peer pressure. It could be my parents. Who knows what's going on? What's going on at home? I don't know. You don't know. You don't know. So I can't really pin it on the system.
And okay, so what do you think?
Well, I think it's everyone's own choice. You choose what you want to do above everything else. If I have friends, if they're going club, they're like, hey, dude. Nah, there's nothing for me that side.
True. And we're not just talking about underage people, but clubbing in itself, is it something as Christians, as teens, and even just the older youth, is it something that we should be engaged in, or should it be something that we avoid completely?
Growing up, I can say it's a blessing in disguise where I grew up with a family where half of them are really religious and half of them are not. So at first, when I was younger, I thought that the ones that drink and go clubbing, and ones that are more fun, and the ones that are religious are just boring people. But as I grew older, I got to realize that it's what you make it. Like, you can create fun yourself. And my very religious side of the family, they're also quite fun. You don't have to always have the influence of alcohol and all those things to have fun. You can go for a hike. That's still fun because you get to see nature, you get to see things that you haven't seen before. And I don't think that it depends on how you take clubbing, but if you're able to socializing and having all these other things is quite different. Having a good company of friends is also socializing. You can say clubbing as well, but it depends on how you put it.
Yeah. And Sibo, what do you think?
Okay, like clubbing, like a spot. He said the spot opened at night. Right? Who knows what happens at night? There are like so many things that happen at night. You've got booze, like you said. You've got sex going on, right? Why should I go surround myself with those? Yes, I won't do it, but why should I go there as a Christian, right? I am compromising. I could say I am compromising myself as a Christian. So I feel, personally,
It's not like you're gonna preach to them in a club.
Exactly. You're going there, although you'd be saying, okay, I'm just going to listen to the music because I love music, or I'm just going to be hanging out with my friends. But still, the environment you're in is, I don't feel it's right for a Christian to be there.
You sort of go there tempting the temptation, because even just there you might be tempted to then, say, okay, let me just have one shot.
Or someone might spike your drink.
Yeah. True. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, sir? You have something to say?
Oh, I want to see how clubs only open at night, and I remember the verse Ephesians 5, verse 11. It says, "Take no part in the fruitful works of darkness, and instead expose them." So that thought came towards clubs. You know how what they do is always at night, and it's never during the day. In fact, you can do something in the light. It says a lot about what's going on.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And what do you think are some of the reasons why people go partying or clubbing or just drink?
Others could be their family lifestyle. You have certain families where, from their parents, partying has been their thing, or clubbing has been their thing. As the kids, like partying, clubbing, drinking, it's been their thing. So as the kids grow up, they really don't see a problem with it. Because I have a friend who, we're having a chat, and I asked him, why do you drink? He's like, everyone else in my family does it. Like, everyone else goes out. Why can't I? So that could also be the reason why people go out. And another reason could just be like, maybe others might give the excuse of stress. I want to go out and relax myself. That is what others would say. So, yeah.
And Ray, what do you think?
I have a question though. Is this based on teenagers or just generally?
Teens mainly.
Alright, so I agree with her on the point of stress and anxiety. I believe a lot of kids, teenagers, experience heartbreaking moments. It might be divorce of their parents, loss of a loved one, and they feel like the only resort they can conform to is clubbing, party. They find peace there, but that peace is an illusion in itself. You see, so I feel like there's a lot of reasons why people do it, and in itself.
And I feel like a lot as like a Malawian child, we are not able to voice our thoughts and our opinions to our parents proper. And I feel like parents should remember that we are also people. We also have feelings and also our own opinions. And many times our parents can talk to us in a very hard way that we're like, when we get so stressed and the only thing I can do right now is to go out and to be surrounded by good things. So that can also be an influence to why you can drink and stuff like that.
And I remember someone earlier was saying that booze or drinking is overhyped, right? And I think that is true, where it's exaggerated that the effect, it's like, hey, komandikama, yes, it will hit the spot, like all the stress will go away. So I think we should also consider that, like, okay, it's not necessarily that if you drink, whatever you're feeling or whatever you've got at that moment going on will go away.
True. But now we've talked about all the things mainly that go wrong when we're at these places. But is the actual act, wrong? Like, is partying in itself wrong? What do you guys think?
It depends on what type of party I want to. Because the parties like birthday parties,
Okay.
Christmas parties, that's okay. I'm going to a party and I know there's going to be booze there, inside lights, who knows? I think it depends for me.
It depends, yeah.
I agree with that. It depends.
Yeah.
It's not every party that is, like you say, like he gave the example, you can have a birthday party, just like you and your friends. You have some nice, like if it's your birthday, you have, music, juice, tan, whatever it is that you like. It doesn't necessarily have to have food. That is fine. But if you know there's booze, there's sex, and you feel you're not comfortable around it, then it's not right.
So pretty much parties are okay to go to. It's alright to enjoy yourself, to have some time off just to spend time with family and friends, as long as you're not caught in a situation where you're, forced to compromise or, that's what we're all saying.
Yeah, and basically, like, some people may lie, basically be like, I went to someone's party, but I didn't know that people would be drinking. Like, you know that they're your friend, your friend.
Yeah.
And you know that this one drinks and this one does this. Why would you want to go and, influence yourself and do that?
Yeah, true. Alright, we'll be right back after this song by Spiritual Harmony.
Kuti Yesu ayandika kutatenga iwe ndine tikatafika kwatu tidzakondwa kumwamba kwa Tate titakala osafanso kuntawizo sata njarantenda zinena kuti Yesu ayandika kutatenga iwe ndine tikatafika kwatu tidzakondwa kumwamba kwa Tate titakala osafanso kuntawizo sata tikatafika kwatu tidzakondwa kumwamba kwa Tate titakala osafanso kuntawizo sata kuntawizo sata kuntawizo sata.
Thank you, Spiritual Harmony, for that item of music. Now, we know that when we're talking about the Christian and partying, and just in the last week, we were talking about how you need to pluck out like certain friends and situations, things that cause you to sin. And we know that this can be very difficult, and we find that some people lose friends over, such I would call them petty issues. But what would you say to them? Someone who maybe has lost friends or is struggling with this, and they know that they need to cut out these friendships. What would you say?
Let them go. As for me, I would say let them go. They were never meant to be your friends. What kind of friend would ditch you or would stop being friends with you over something so petty, like we said? Pray about it. Ask God, give me the right kind of friends, and He will eventually give you the right kind of friends. Because if you force these things, that's how you end up tempting yourself, and you end up sinning because you were trying to be a friend. You were trying to impress your friend. You were trying to be friends with someone.
And I feel like if you have friends that understand the reason why you can't drink, it's way better. Because as of recent, my family from the drinking side, they came over, and when I was giving them what they drink, my uncles were like laughing about it, that yeah, you can just have a sip. But there's a family that's like, no, she doesn't drink. So making sure that they know that you don't drink and the reason that you don't drink is better. But if they can't understand that, then let them go. They're never going to be your friend at all.
All right, thank you for joining me this week. And I'll just like to leave you, viewer, with one question. But out of all the places that Jesus could find you, would you want to be found in a club? Would you want to be found at a booze party or drinking? Let's hear what our pastor has to say about the Christian partying, clubbing, and drinking.
We're social people. And that's how we've been made. We're supposed to socialize. But now, as a young person, look, I mean, all your friends, your crew, the people you hang with, they're all going to this party. Should we go? They're hanging out at a certain place at night where it's kind of dim, it's dark inside, but there are these lights that flash back and forth. Should we be present? As a social person, I mean, I want to have friends. Don't you want to have friends? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I want them to also feel that I'm cool and, I should be accepted and everything. What's your thinking about the whole partying and clubbing and, drinking even?
Yeah, okay. We'll go back to our first discussion of the Christian term, right? Mm-hmm. We have said that being a Christian is to be Christ-like.
Okay.
So youth of today, we ask ourselves, or we tell ourselves, because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't partake in their sexual activities that they do under the influence, I'm just a designated driver. They need me, they are my friends, and they need a sober driver, so I'm only the driver. But you're in the presence of doing these things, So is that okay? Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's a Christ-like character that you need to portray to others? Because remember what they say, birds of the same feather, they do what? They flock together.
Wow.
So that's a very strong, that's a strong thing. Because sometimes it says, show me your friends and I'll tell you what?
Character.
Exactly.
Right.
So do you want to be found in such places just because you're calling yourself the sober one, the responsible one, or the designated driver? Is it okay? Is it okay for you to watch your friend drink to the point that he doesn't even know his name? He can't even tell the time, and you're the one holding him. Is that okay? Because that's what happens at these parties, at these clubs. Is that okay? Do you want to be found associated with such a person? Because we also say, as a Christian, you need to also show, it will tell what kind of Christian you are by the associates. In what association you are found in.
And to be very honest, I mean, I like to tell my story, and that was me, designated driver. I'm not drinking, I've got my glass of water, I'm good, I'm not doing anything. But then something began to come into my mind. Romans 12 verse 1, it says what? I beseech you by the mercies of God to offer your bodies. And I'm somebody who had offered myself, but am I living like I've really offered my body to Christ? Like I've given my life to Him? Am I truly surrendered by hanging out in the clubs, by doing this and that? Am I a surrendered person? And remember what we said on one of the episodes, we talked about being a billboard. Can people see Christ in me while I'm there in the club? Isn't He being all the noise of the club, it's going to deafen whatever it is that I'm trying to tell them. They're not going to hear. It's going to be drowned by all that. Offer your bodies. Give your lives to Christ. Surrender. And know that when you do so, your life, where you are, everything about you should portray Christ. Don't be found in clubs. Don't be found in other places where Christ would never put himself in. Let's change the way that we live.
Thank you for joining us this week. We were talking about the Christian partying, clubbing, and drinking. Join us again next week as we have yet another topic for you. Here with me, your host, Adela Chakota, right here on Hope Channel Malawi. Remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.